Alright, let's try it again. Smoking dry bones. I remember that dress and how it rounded your breast, and the boots on your breath took me away to that cold, lonely street where I bound up your feet with no one around to hear your cries.
On the issue of younger women and older men, I just want to give a few thoughts on that issue. And I came across a couple of videos from some of the people I've subscribed to on YouTube. Chafin's Inferno, awesome. Who else? There's too many to mention. Pop's channel, man. That's another one. And I noticed that they were, and these are older guys. I mean, they're a little bit older than me, but we're the same generation. And but the difference between them and I are that they are living in the continental United States in North America, whereas I am living in Southeast Asia. I don't live in that part of the world anymore. I haven't lived there for at least 11 years. I actually asked the question to both of them, when are you going to make a post about younger women? Now, Terrence Popp said he was going to, and I haven't got a response back from Chafin's Inferno. You need to explore the rest of the world when it comes to age and dating and having a relationship with a woman, romantic relationship with a woman. And so this is how I want to approach the subject. Dating a younger woman. And before I begin, I want to just express that dating is not my style. I've never been one that wants to date women. And to me, dating is you meet them, you have a coffee or a drink and a meal, and you get to see if you're compatible, and then maybe you do it again. You know, I've never been into that. I've never been into that, not since day one. So don't ask me about dating advice, because I don't have a clue, because I've avoided that my entire life. I was more the kind of person that would seek out women through the networks that I had, being through work or friends or whatever. I just be introduced to women, start to talk to them, and I skipped the whole dating process and just went directly to, well, we get along. Would you like to fucking hang out and fuck a lot? And that's it. That's where it stopped. That's as far as I get into the dating scene. I don't have the real dating experience. Although these other guys that I mentioned, they do, apparently. And I just want to add a little bit of advice into the younger woman scene. Now, I'm 39. I'm divorced, and I have a child. And I've dated a lot of women. I've had a lot of girlfriends, I should say, both here and in North America. And the one thing I find astounding as a 39-year-old male here, a working male here, who is single at this point, is that it's so easy to pick up younger women. And a lot of it has to do with the fact that I'm North American. I'm not local as a male. And I'm not rich by any means. I'm making the same amount of money that most working class hard asses are making on the other side of the world. But it adds up to a lot more here. So it does, in that sense, if you're a man listening to this, being here and making the same amount of money you are making over there in America, you actually raise yourself up a few brackets in the male perspective. You're not as beta as you thought you were. If you have other skills and talents, of course, that's always going to help as well. But when it comes to the amount of money you make here, suddenly you're pushed up a few brackets. You don't have to confine yourself to this idea that you're stuck within this wage bracket. No, not here. You don't have to do that. You can actually make the same amount of money you are now over there in America, North America, come over here, and you're going to be pushed up far beyond the beta you were there. You got much more choice. A lot more choice. And your age doesn't matter either. And that's another wonderful advantage. You can be 40 years old with the same salary you have in the States, but here it's the equivalent of a 23-year-old guy making more money than he's worth. In other words, you have more options. It's a reality. It's a very serious reality. And I think that more North American men need to know this. And I have friends that are from Europe as well, and maybe they need to know this as well. Now, like I said before, I've been through a divorce, have a child, I'm single, and I've been in a hell of a custody battle for that child. It's been my life's ambition for the last 5 years to just be close to my kid. But in the meantime, you know, you do meet women and you have relations. And because this is about younger women, I want to say that at some point after my wife had left me, I decided, fuck it all. I know where I am. I'm going to try and take advantage of the situation I'm in. And I found it very, very, very simple to walk up to any woman, local woman, who was of a very young age, much younger than myself, talk to her for 10 or 15 minutes and get her phone number, and then do with it what I want to from there. And I know I couldn't do that back in my country. No, I'm born American but grew up in Canada, so the whole thing's the same to me. And no, there's no way I could do that there. But here I can do that. If I want to, if I have the time and the ambition, I can do that. I'm currently seeing a girl who is, if I can do the math without saying her age, she is currently over 20 years younger than I am. And we have a pretty good relationship. I don't see her that often. She doesn't live in the same city as me. And I put out the money to go and visit her. I spend the money to visit her. I take her out for dinner. I take her out for buy a new accessory for her cell phone. Things that younger women are concerned about. And it's a funny thing about younger women, they're not really concerned about what you and I would consider to be important or life demanding. For a lot of younger women, especially what I see here, is that they have simple pleasures. They have very simple pleasures, and they're not that expensive. Their pleasures are not that expensive. For every $100 you would spend on a woman in the West, whether she be old or young, you'll be spending a third or less of that here with the same results. So if you went out on an evening with a woman, regardless of her age, in the West, fuck, who cares? I mean, good luck. Good luck dating an 18-year-old if you're 40 over there. If you can do that, I salute you. But here you can do that. You can date an 18-year-old and you can spend $30 in a night and get the same amount of satisfaction.
I remember that day.
It's a wonderful, wonderful thing. And it's a real thing. And it has to do with culture. And if people try to say that what I'm doing is wrong, then they are either jealous or they are so conditioned by Western society that they cannot accept the fact that that does happen other places. And they simply think that their culture and their way of thinking is better than anywhere else. Yeah. Sorry, it doesn't work that way. I think that there is a relationship and an attraction. There's an attraction of men to younger women. Now, I'm not going to go into links and details and try to find to support my opinion. This is just an opinion piece. So don't bitch at me if I didn't provide evidence for what I believe in. If you don't believe in it, fine. And you can go find evidence to support your own opinion if you want. But as far as I'm concerned, and what I've experienced in my life, and when I compare it to the other men that I know in my life and their experiences, men are generally attracted to younger women. And women have a window of opportunity that basically starts around the age of puberty. And we could average that out to about 15 until they're about 25 to 30. When that window is closed, they're finished. They're finished. They're going to end up either childless or with a child and without a husband. They're going to end up desperate, angry, and alone. And it happens all the time. Whereas men don't suffer that same condition. And all you feminists and fucking women out there, you can get angry about that. But you might as well be screaming at the fucking wind. Because the wind doesn't care how angry you are at the fact that it's blowing in your face. It doesn't care. It's going to keep blowing. So if you feminists and women out there don't like the fact that men are attracted to younger women, then you're just going to have a bad day. You're going to have a bad life. And you're probably old. You're probably in your 30s or older and are disappointed of the decisions you made in your life. You're probably disappointed that you didn't consider when you were younger that you had an opportunity to make something out of your life and have a real relationship with a man. You never considered that because you were sold a lie. You were sold the lie that you need to be independent. You need to be a strong woman. You don't need men. You swallowed that lie, and it's your own fault. So if you're unhappy, why don't you just go fuck yourself? Because it's too late. It's too late for you. If I was to make an analogy, I would put it like this. The modern woman in the West was sold the idea that by taking a bite of the apple from the tree of knowledge would allow her to become the equal of men and the equal of the world and empower her. And what went through her mind after she was sold that lie, I do not know. But it may have said, her own thoughts may have said, yes, I'm not satisfied, so yes, I will partake in that bite. And what were the consequences? She lost. She lost hard. She was given a role to play, and she refused to play that role. And I don't know, is it the nature of women to always be suspicious, to always second guess, to never logically think out the decisions they make? I don't know. But it generally comes to that in my own experience. And a lot of women today don't ever think out the decisions they make. They react emotionally. They take a bite of that apple. And they hope for the best. And when it doesn't work out, they gotta blame other people. They blame men. It didn't work out for you, did it? You're lonely. You're old. You're living with a bunch of cats. You didn't quite get that man you wanted. And now all the guys you want to date that are your age, they're all looking at younger women. So you're going to be pissed off. Well, here's an idea. Instead of being pissed off about the poor decisions you made, why don't you try to make something better of yourself? Why don't you try to become a better woman? What a great idea. But this is really what it's come down to. You know, the garden is our lives. The garden is the ability of man and woman to communicate and form relationships, create families, and develop society. That's the garden. And the temptation was the idea passed to women that they needed more. They needed more. They needed to be something else. They needed to benefit in a way which in the end harmed everyone else. No foresight, lackluster, and completely selfish. It's a wonder why so many men think women are so selfish in their attitudes. And I wonder what came first, the woman or the apple? Which one came first? I don't really want to get into that philosophical debate. I'd rather stick to reality as it is now. And where I am now, yes, I am a 39-year-old male. And I'm not rich. I'm losing my hair. I'm not in the greatest shape. I'm not the most handsomest man in the world. I'm not famous. But you know what? I can approach an 18-year-old girl here and they don't run off scared. Different cultures, different ideas, different circumstance. It's something that needs to make us all think about what our priorities are, what our objectives are in life. North American women have given up on the greatest advantage they have in their existence, which is their window of 15 to 25 years, their youth, their beauty, and their fertility. They've given up on it. They were convinced that it's not worth shit, when that's everything they're worth. And everything else in their life that they need will come when they submit to that idea. But they won't. They won't. At this point, all I can do is raise a glass to all of the unmarried or divorced middle-aged women with or without children, but unsatisfied and with a feeling of betrayal because they were given a promise, but it was never kept. To all of you women, your decision was made. There is no way out of it. What you need to do now is accept your fate and make the best of it. And you're not going to do that by making The only men that will give you an attention, which is older men, the only men that will give you attention, you're not going to get any kind of benefit by constantly blaming them for your own miseries, your own self-inflicted miseries. So all you North American, European women, all of you feminist women that have been abducted by this concept of bullshit and hate, whether you want to come up feminism or whatever you want to call it, too bad. You lost. You made your choice and you lost. And the men are walking away. And some of them are walking right across the Pacific to Asia. And they're getting what they want. And you can be as angry about that as you want to be, but it's too late. Anyway, I dedicate this to Mr. Pops and his wonderful videos, and Mr. Bernard Chapin's Inferno. I dedicate it to these guys, these wonderful middle-aged guys living over in North America, doing the best they can and spreading the word, trying to educate other young men. And I have a lot of respect for you. Peace out, everybody. I am serious, and this is my opinion. Take care.